All right, y'all, make sure you share the video. Tell people to come on in. Come on in. I gotta play some music to get myself together. It is. Oh my goodness. But make sure y'all share the video, which is what I'm doing right now before I get started. Thank you, Lord, for all you've done for me. Share the video. Let me oh man. Give me 1 second, so I gotta share the show real quick. 1 second. Let's see. I'm glad they have to set up the way they do now, because it makes it a lot easier. And especially if you know me and you grew up with me, please share this video, because I gotta correct some stuff. So please share it. If you grew up with me, make sure you share the video. And I gotta share it to, let me see, who else do I need to share this to? Was that it? Oh, 2 more people. And then I'm gonna get started. All right, y'all. I love this song. That's my favorite song. That's my favorite song. So for those of you who don't know, because the person that was speaking and doing all this talking, who doesn't really know me, I'm actually a professional singer. The whole radio stuff is new, but I like it. But I'm more comfortable singing. I hate the shadow on the wall. What is that? Let me see if I can turn this thing around. I'm more comfortable singing. So I'm a professional singer. So sometimes y'all might see me playing music, or you might see me singing somewhere. I don't know. You might. But anyway, tonight, oh shoot, I pulled the plug. Hold on, y'all. What am I doing? Where is it at? Oh, here it is right here. Hold on 1 second. Because I got all kinds of contraptions going on over here. Do me a favor. Tonight, we're going to do a baptism. And for those of you who have never attended, there we go. I got all kinds of contraptions in front of me. But for those of you who have never attended my baptisms, let me just tell y'all a little bit. Hey, Labria, K.A. Armstrong. Who's that? Saki YT. Okay, I like it. Thank you for joining in. Make sure y'all share the video. So let me just tell you what the baptism is about, because some of y'all may not know. You may not have ever attended any of my baptisms. So I want to tell you what the baptisms are about, because I'm in my healing now, but years ago, if you made me mad, I'll go left real quick. And so I had to learn as I was getting older, as I was maturing, and growing into my relationship with God, I got to learn how to address people. Let me turn my phone off, because I know my phone is going to ring. I had to learn how to address people in other ways. And so one day I was like, God, you really got to help me with how I address people, how I address situations, because I can't keep doing it the same way because it's not right. And so one night, I was just thinking of something. I was like, I should call it a baptism because I am a chaplain, and I should call it a baptism where, I ain't baptizing you with water, but I'm baptizing you with words because I know how to put those, I know how to put those words together. So that's what the baptism is about. Now let's get into it tonight because for those of you who follow me, I have not done a baptism in it's probably been over a year that I've done a baptism. It probably was this time last year when I did one. But sometimes when people keep picking and picking and picking, you just got to do what you do. So let me tell y'all what happened. And a matter of fact, anybody that follows me, when I say something, I really try to make sure I can back it up. So let me go back here and pull it up, because I want to make sure that as I'm talking about this, that you all understand, like the background, you understand the post and why me and well, not me, why the person was coming from me. And I'm gonna tell you something. If you're a man and you start coming from me, that's a trigger. Okay, please don't do that, because then you sort of take me into the stratosphere, and then God has to start pulling me back and yanking my chain, because I don't play with men like that. Don't do that. If I'm not bothering you, which I don't bother anybody, but especially a man, don't come for me. Hey, Dr. Porter. So let me tell y'all something real quick. So the way the baptism has started was, like I said, I was trying to think of a way to really address people in the right way, because my mouth was reckless. I didn't care how you felt and how I delivered it to you. But then God was telling me you got to do it another way. So one night I came on, hey, Andre, one night I came on and I started saying this thing about baptism. Now, Dr. Leslie Porter used to watch. And so after a while, let me show y'all something. Wait a minute, where is it at? After a while, oh, here it is right here. So after a while, I was just doing stuff. I was like, okay, we're going to act like this is really church, like we're going to baptism. So I had my microphone and I would be singing in the microphone, and you know how they sing that song in church, Take Me to the Water. My thing was, take me to the microphone, because I got to baptize some people. So I'd be singing in the microphone. Dr. Leslie Porter was actually one who started following me when I was doing this. So I think I told Dr. Leslie Porter, like, Dr. Porter, you're in charge of the ushers. You got to usher. I mean, you in charge of the ushers, and you got to make sure y'all usher people in, share the show and all of that. And then Latasha, I hope I'm saying her name right, Latasha Gardner, I told her she was the person that collected the offering. So I would always put my cash app up. So it kind of turned into this funny thing of baptism, but I was dealing with serious stuff, and allowing other people to help me to go through it. But I was getting people straight in another way. And so that's what we're going to do tonight. Let me just pull this post up. And so just to tell you a little bit about it, because listen, y'all, let me tell y'all something. I already know that some people going to have a problem because of what I'm about to say. And I'm not going to apologize at all. I'm just going to go ahead and put it out there, because I'm going to say some stuff that people probably want to say, but you're so busy talking behind the back that you don't put it out there. So for those of you who don't know, oh, here it is right here. Okay. Thank you. So for those of you who don't know, I grew up Adventist, Seventh-day Adventist, okay? Which means, we go to church on Saturday. We have a lot of beliefs that it was to the point where when I was growing up, some people would call it a cult and all that kind of stuff. I don't believe it's a cult, but some of the things that we were taught, I just have not found them in the Bible, to be honest. I just haven't. So, I started going on my own journey as I got older. Sorry, y'all, I got allergies. I'm sorry. And it is something's blowing in my face. So anyway, growing up Adventist, and I got to tell y'all this part, and I know the people that are Adventist, they probably going to be flipping over in their chairs and pulling their wigs off and everything else. But I got to talk about it because I have to help everybody to understand why I'm doing the baptism. Let me see. So then, Charlene Jenkins, to be exact, Your last baptism was really bad when we were at the Cultural Arts Center. That was the very last baptism. She's right. Van keeps up with all of that stuff. Um, she keeps it. Thank you, sis. She keeps up with all of that stuff. Hey, DJ, welcome back. And so, I grew up Adventist. My dad, I was born and raised into it. My dad is a retired pastor of the Seventh Day Adventist Church. And some of you may have heard of it. And there are, growing up, especially in my age group, it was a lot of rigidity. Like, you couldn't do this, you couldn't do that. You're going to go to hell for this, you're going to go to hell for that. God is not going to forgive you. Like, it took me a while to go into a movie theater because I thought if I went to the movie theater, that God was not going to go in with me and something could happen where I may not make it out. It was that kind of stuff. Can't wear jewelry, can't wear makeup, can't get your nails done, all this kind of stuff. And so as I got older, more so in my 20s, when I started going to college, I was just like, I'm out of the house now. I can do what I want to do. So I started getting my nails done. Still afraid to wear red. Now, that was another thing. You couldn't really wear red because red was like you were, what they say, a harlot. They ain't say whore, which is what they really wanted to say. You a harlot. And so I didn't start wearing red until about 6 years ago. Ain't that crazy? About 6 years ago, I put on a red dress because I had to go host an event and the ladies had to wear red. And when I put on the red, I was like, oh, this is popping. So now I have a lot of red outfits. But it was just stuff like that. And so a lot of people that are in my age group are mentally suffering right now. And they not gonna come on here and tell you. I'm gonna tell you the real, okay? They're having some mental challenges because it after a while, when you keep hearing that there's a possibility you could go to hell for this, that, and the third. Like it starts working on you because now you're trying to figure out what you should be doing. The other thing, and I'm doing a quick run through because I don't want to stick just on that subject, but I want you to understand the background of why this man was going after me. The other thing is that if you don't conform or follow the practices, and I know they're going to get mad at me for saying this, you will be shunned. I'm talking about they won't speak to you. They'll act like you don't exist. Now, these Christians, okay? These are Christians. They're going to heaven. And I got to say it, Adventist people, because you're wrong. You're wrong. People have, I know people personally, okay, who've had teen pregnancies, children out of wedlock where the parents completely disowned them. Some of these were pastors, completely disowned their children because it's an abomination. You sin. Now, you're supposed to be a Christian, you're supposed to be a pastor, but you disown your children. I seen it with my own eyes. So I'm not making this stuff up. And a lot of people are afraid because the fear was putting you to not talk about it, to not say anything. So it was like a fear, like I'm just going to go inside of myself and just hold everything in and not say anything. That will kill you. And that will cause you to have stress and anxiety that you can't even imagine. Okay, y'all. Sorry about that. Um, Hold on 1 second. But anyway, that's why a lot of people my age don't they don't talk and they hurt and they go through a lot of stuff because they're afraid to speak. Now, a lot of times it's fear because you know you don't want to be disrespectful to your family, right? You don't want to be disrespectful to your family. You don't want to hurt anybody. So you walk around and you don't say anything. So I just wanted to give y'all that little background tonight before I go into this thing that I had to read. You just cleared something up about true organized religion. It binds, it tends to oppress and enslave our people. And you know what? And the thing about it, yeah, I'm sorry. My what happened was my device died, and I don't know why because it's plugged in. I don't know what happened. Hold on one second, y'all. Yeah, Steve, you're absolutely correct. And one second, y'all, because I don't know what is going. Like the cord came out on my device, so I gotta plug it back in. One second, y'all. Give me 1 second. Yeah, I'm looking forward to the day when I no longer have to be a one woman show trying to do this radio stuff because it's a lot. And it's a lot that I have to do in the background. So anyway, thank you, Steve, for that comment. But what I was saying is that, people will really, they're hurting, like they're silently hurting because it's stuff that they want to talk about, it's stuff that they want to say, but because of the fear of, you know, hurting or not, and I'm not even going to say hurting, it's the fear of being shunned. Nobody wants to be shunned because they're talking. But in my religion, that's what happens. So I think the younger generation may be doing a little bit better with that, but the older generation, um, my age group, there's a lot of people definitely shunned for some of the things that they did. Now I went through a divorce, and I started my divorce process in 2008. 2008, 2009, I started my divorce process. And when I tell you people were coming for me, you're going to go to hell. You're not supposed to divorce no matter what. You're not supposed to divorce. You're supposed to stick, stay, whatever. I had friends who were in abusive relationships getting the heck beat out of them. And they were told to stay. You don't leave because if you leave, you're going to go to hell and you're the stronger one, so you need to stay and help him out. I got the heck up out of there. So, and I'm glad I did. He's happy, I'm happy. So that's the gist of all of that. And so I wanted you to understand my background as an Adventist because there was a post. What we do every year also in our religion is they have what's called camp meeting, and something happened. I got to tell y'all about that too. I just got all these messages today. Something happened up there, and ain't nobody talking about that. But the camp meeting is something that they do is 10 days, and they do it. It's like the end of June, the first week of July. So you go in the campgrounds, they have services every day. I never liked it. I hated it. Had to go as a kid, didn't go as an adult because I ain't trying to sit up there and all that heat under tents and none of that. I'm just not doing it. So my son, probably took him up there a few times, but the way I raised my son was totally different from the way that I was raised. And I gave him, the freedom of choice in a lot of things, which I think you should. You take him to church, but I'm not forcing, hey, Kim, I'm not forcing anything down his throat about you got to do this or you got to do that. So, and my son came out great. So, there was two things that happened. And in our conferences, we have what's called conferences. Y'all stick with me. I want y'all to understand everything because I don't want people to say she didn't explain it and she just sitting up there talking. But we have what's called conferences, which is how our pastors get paid. So we have the Allegheny West, we got the Allegheny East, we got the North American, We got the Southeastern Conference. I'm a part of the Allegheny East. That's what I grew up under. So in Allegheny East Conference, this is when they have their camp meeting around this time of year. And so what happened, it was two things that happened. At one conference, which I think was Allegheny West, they invited Karen Clark Sheard. Now, for those of you who know Karen Clark Sheard, she's part of the Clark sisters, right? And they sing, they shout, they praise the Lord, which again, growing up in my time, we were not allowed to clap. We were not allowed to have drums. It was just you sing out of the hymnal and you sit down. Okay, we didn't do all of that. I'm gonna talk about that in a minute too. Wow, you sound like me with my children. And so they invited Karen Clark, okay, because there was two conversations going on. So they invited Karen Clark, and Karen Clark, as she was singing, she did what Karen Clark normally does. She goes into the spirit and she's speaking in tongues. So that became a big conversation because in our religion, they don't believe in speaking in tongues. So everybody was making comments on that. Okay, so I commented on that. The other thing was, let me go back to this page. What was he saying? This is the other thing, and this is why I'm doing the baptism tonight, because I'm really about to go in, y'all, but I had to give y'all the background on that. And do me a favor, make sure you please share the video. So the other thing, we had a pastor who put up a post because I think he was a little irritated that people, kept saying some negative stuff about the camp meeting. So he put this post up. Let me go back to it. What did he say? Shoot. He said, all these people going in on social media on conference camp meetings may be doctrinally correct, but have misrepresented God's character. God doesn't need a lawyer. And this was stemming from, I think it was stemming from everybody talking about how the church was wrong for inviting Karen Clark, and she shouldn't have been there, and we don't believe in this and we don't believe in that. My whole point was, if we don't believe in that, why would you invite her there? If every time you watch Karen Clark singing, Karen Clark, since she was a kid with her mom, Maddie Moss Clark, they all shout. They all speak in tongues. They're Pentecostal. That's what they do. So for you to invite her and then get upset because when she got in the spirit, she started speaking in tongues, that's not on her. That's on you. Because supposedly we don't believe in speaking in tongues. So why would you invite her? So I had put in one of my posts, like, the one thing I will say about the Adventist church is they taught us how to sing. They taught us how to be educated. I don't believe that they taught us how to love ourselves. That's why a lot of us had done stupid stuff, because we were taught so much to love other people and to give to other people that we never learned how to love who we are. And I didn't learn how to love myself until maybe like 10 or 12 years ago, to be honest with you. So, this second post, the pastor had said, that God doesn't need a lawyer. So I come on and I'm just, and y'all listen, I don't even normally comment on posts because I don't have time. But last week I was on vacation. So, I'm just laying across the bed scrolling through, and I seen, this post. I was like, let me just make my comment and forget it, because I'm thinking, I'm just commenting. So I said, is this the one? So I was saying, when you invite people to perform or speak that are not of the SDA faith, what do you expect? The SDA organization has a bad habit of inviting outsiders to teach, preach, and perform when there are so many SDAs, SDA stands for Seventh-day Adventists, who are just as educated and talented. But we want to be like the world so bad. Temptation is a terrible thing, and the SDA leadership keeps walking right into it. And then they want to correct people for disagreeing or having sidebars about their choices. I said, I'm 61, born and raised in the faith, and the older I get, the more confused I become. God doesn't need a lawyer, but he's not the author of confusion either. Don't tell us not to eat pork, but then you serve it for dinner, because, we don't eat pork and all of that, right? Now, James Madison, I don't know who you are, but you better get off of this page with this foolishness, because I'm about to, can I block him? I'm about to block you, because I gotta figure out how to do it. I can't do it right now, but don't type no more foolishness up here. And so people started making comments. And so, the one guy, he was like, Charlene Jenkins, with respect, ma'am, I submit I submit to you that your confusion starts with the term outsiders. So, I sent a comment back to him, and I said, look, I said, I'm not going to give his name. I said, read it again. I said, was the singer that was invited of the SDA faith, or was she an outsider? I'm very clear in what I said, and I stand by it. Okay, so I'm done. I'm getting ready to go out and enjoy myself. So here comes this one brother. And I don't know, I still don't know who he is, because I'm not, like I told him, sir, I'm not going to bother to go on your page because I don't have time like you. And so he came on, and this is what he says to me. He says, Charlene, Lady J, you have jewelry and makeup on. Now, what does that have to do? First of all, what does that have to do with what the pastor wrote? He said, you have makeup and jewelry on in your profile pic. You yourself may be mistaken for an outsider if you were invited to camp and got grouped in with being of the world by the same people you were born and raised in the faith with. And then he says, LOL, like it's funny. They would not hesitate to let you know that verbally at some point to your face, usually in a distasteful way for no reason, you will be noticed, and they will let you know that you have been noticed. And he said, I'm just saying. And see, one thing that I'm going to say about Adventist people is they can see everything that you're doing, but they can't see what the pastors are doing. And I know people going to be upset for what I'm saying. And I'm going to get to the pastors in a minute. But they can see everything that you're doing. Nobody's talking about makeup and jewelry, but this is what they harp on. This is what they've been taught to harp on: your makeup, your jewelry, what you got on, and all of these things start to make you look like a harlot, a whore, and a bad person. And so, this is how they start, right? And so when he started right away, listen, I already know this. And then some lady says, oh wow. And then he said, he goes back to say, it ain't sweet out here in these SDA streets, LOL. What was funny? Sir, I'm just trying to figure out what was funny. And then he says, he goes on to say, you did. I told him, I said, you did what the typical Adventist does. I said, oh my God, you must don't attend church, because a lot of churches that I go to, the women look like me. I say, anyway, what I will say is God is blessing me to touch many lives on a weekly basis, and they are learning about the Lord and giving their lives to Christ. And I'm just one person with my makeup and jewelry on. Now, how's the Adventist church coming along with baptisms? Because the last I heard, the numbers are drastically dropped. I said, have that conversation. So, he continues on. And I told him, I said, I'm going to do a live on you because I'm just tired of talking about this. I said, make sure you tune in. And so he's telling me basically in this other post that I'm trying to get to the one that he wrote about me, because I don't even want to read all of his stuff. Um, he says I get it, but at the end of the day, I'm right. LOL. You don't have to be a celebrity to get to comments. Look at the comments of the female pastor that's one of us. I don't even know what he talked about. He said, this is far beyond the individual that was invited. Watch the comments of praise and worship of our own in our own churches. It never fails. They be going in. And he says, I dare you to prove me wrong. This is what he's saying to me. LOL. I don't know where you are from, but I dare you to get on a live stream platform situation. This is what I'm saying. He don't even know I'm on live all the time. He says, I don't know where you are from, but I dare you to get on a live stream platform situation with all that on, makeup and jewelry, not even in a church, but just say you're in Seventh-day Adventist, and you will be ripped apart. Listen to what he's saying to me. And you will be ripped apart, especially from a certain demographic. People that come from land masses surrounded by water between America and South America, LOL. And the conversation will be had. Um, who is this? Who, listen to this, talking about me. Who is this creeping, compromising woman? Pray for her. What church does she go to? All your souls won't matter in their eyes because your appearance, my appearance, y'all, my appearance. What do you say? Because let me see. What did, I just missed what I was reading because I got caught up. But he said, oh, he says, who's this creeping comrade? Pray for her. He said, what church do you go to? All your saints won't matter in their eyes because your appearance will be a stumbling block. And you might even get a stern talking to, or even worse. Your SDAism will be questioned all in real time, LOL. And you did not bring up baptism in your original post. Let's not move the goal. Because they not going to let you move theirs when they pull your SDA card. My SDA card? For not being modest enough to represent Christ. They will burn you at the stake with the same fire. Can y'all believe that? Now this is coming from someone who supposedly is a man of God. And I want y'all to really pay attention to what he was saying to me. You don't know me, ain't never met me, ain't never seen me, don't know nothing about me, and totally disrespected me in this post. And that's why I had to come on and do a baptism. Totally disrespected me. And if I was somebody who was weak in my faith, I would have just crawled under a rock and probably cried because of the way that you, sir, spoke to me and said what you said. Now, I don't know who you are. You saying to me, I don't know who you are. I don't know what church you go to, but you saying, let me go back. You said I'm not modest enough to represent Christ. You have no rights. And you better be glad I'm not calling your name. And the only reason I'm not calling your name, because you say people don't know me. And I promise you that people know me. And if I call your name, they're going to come for you. That's the only reason I'm not calling your name. But what we're not going to do here, you're not going to continue to disrespect me. And I told you that in the last post. Like I told you, go save some souls and go read your word and leave me alone. But to sit here to tell me that I'm not modest, you don't know me. You don't know my background. You don't know what I've been through. You don't know what it took to get me here, to be the woman that I am today. And I won't even let you get away with even thinking that you're going to disrespect me. And I'm going to send you this video because I want you to make sure that you see it. So when you even think of opening your mouth again and talking about LOL and this, that, and the third, you'll think first about it. Because you, sir, will be the very person that will bust hell wide open because of your mouth. Because you're saying things out of your mouth to people that you shouldn't say. Last time I checked in the word, God says that we are not to sit in judgment. What I have on, what I wear at 61 ain't none of your business. And if you don't like it, while you were on my page looking around, because you said you was on my page looking at my pictures, I guess you liked what you saw because you kept looking. You probably one of them closet men that you be online talking about what you don't like. But behind the scenes, you like all of this. And you try to cover it up by running your mouth. But you told me that I'm not modest. You can't pull up any of my pictures and see anything that I have on that's not modest. You can't. And then you told me that I'm compromising. Compromising what? I'm compromising what? And this is my problem that I have when it comes to the Adventist church. You're judgmental, you're critical, You say stuff out of your mouth that you shouldn't say. And then you wonder why people don't want to go to church, or why they don't want to come back, or why they just don't deal with the church at all. And nobody has enough nerve to sit in front of the camera and do what I'm doing. And the reason I can do it is because I do have a relationship with God. And I do know what God requires of me as a woman, as a chaplain, as a pastor, because I have all of those credentials, sir. So I do know what is required of me. And I act accordingly. And when people sit back, because people should have been jumping on you on that page for how you were coming at me. And I think maybe one or two people did. The rest of all of them they didn't. Nobody came and said, maybe you shouldn't talk to her like that. Maybe you don't know what she's going through. And this is why I work outside of the church. I do the church without walls. I deal with people that really want to know who Jesus is. I don't deal with people who already know Jesus and who feel like Jesus has already given them a book where they can write in the book and say, oh, Charlene's doing this and Charlene's doing that. You better go mind your business. That's what I'm going to say to you. Because what you did, and I'm a child of God, I'm a woman of God, and I'm a daughter of God. You came for me. And the Bible says, touch not thou anointed. You came for me. And I'm coming to you publicly to let you know you were wrong. Now, you didn't damage anything inside of me because I know who I am. But I'm doing this baptism because I want you to understand that y'all got to stop the foolishness. This is not just for him, but this is a lot of people, especially the older people in the Adventist church. You feel like you have a right to step in and just say whatever you want to say out of your mouth. And I'm here to tell you that you're wrong. You can't do it. And that's not what God told you to do. Look around in the church and see if your church is growing. Look around. Because I've been to a lot of churches. Unlike what this brother's talking about, don't nobody know you. I don't know what church you go to. And if you did this or that. And like I told him, I've done seminar. I got people on here right now. Cindy's on here now. I got people on here right now that will tell you the way you see me Monday through Friday is what you're going to see when I go to church Saturday or Sunday. Ain't nothing changed. I'm not hiding nothing. But you got these other women and men, because some of y'all on the down low. Let's talk about that. You on the down low thinking nobody don't know it, singing on the choir, ushering and doing this, that, and the third in the Adventist church. But y'all don't want to have that conversation. And then walking around, because really, to be honest, it's a man's world in the Adventist church. It's a man's world. And the women's supposed to be quiet. But this one is not. I was quiet for a long time. But one thing I'm not going to do is what I see people going through now. You're not going to stress me out and have me going crazy because I'm holding on to stuff. I'm holding on to hurt and pain and what people have said to me. I'm going to set you straight and I'm going to set myself free. That's what I'm going to do. And y'all just have a bad habit. As soon as somebody does something, instead of going to them and embracing them and hugging them and loving them, you go into condemning them. And you're wrong. And anybody that's Adventist and you want to challenge me, you're more than welcome to come right on the screen. I will put you on the screen and you can challenge me. I grew up in this. And I'm speaking on it because of being a chaplain. I got a lot of people that are Adventists that call me. That's hurting, suicidal, depressed. They in marriages that they don't even want to be in. And they my age, but they scared to get out. Because of what people said, because of what they've been taught. And I keep saying, set yourself free. And if I don't get invited to come back and sing in the Adventist church or to speak or whatever, I don't really care. Because God said in the last days, listen, he wants us to raise up the standard. Now let me get to this. Because the other thing is, sir, as you sitting up here talking about me and how I'm not modest and I'm not a Christian, how I'm not the people that I think I'm bringing to Christ. I ain't really bringing them to Christ. You don't know where I'm taking them to. All of this type of foolishness. Shut your mouth, number one. Number two, if you want to talk about something, talk about the pastors that's out here sleeping with other women in the church and outside of the church and still getting up in the pulpit preaching. Because I put that in the comments as well. And ain't nobody want to touch it. Not even the pastor that wrote the post. How about that? Because y'all want to talk about everything else. But then you sit up under these pastors knowing that they did wrong. Knowing that they've been transferred from church to church because over here they done slept with somebody or they messing with somebody's child over here. And y'all okay with them being moved to another church and they still praise the Lord, hallelujah. And I guess they going to heaven. I guess they still going to heaven. And y'all cool with that. But when somebody wear earrings or jewelry, it is a big deal. Like the person that committed the biggest sin in the world. Mind your business. And talk about the real that's going on. Because right now, and I ain't making it up, I'm not telling you what I heard. I'm telling you about phone calls I get. A lot of your pastors are in the bed with other women. They're making babies with women that are not their wives, and they got a whole family at home. And they getting up in that pulpit preaching. And they were at camp meeting preaching. That's why I didn't even tune in, because I'm not with the foolishness. And when leadership knows, and I'm talking to Allegheny East, when leadership knows that they have pastors who are doing these things and they don't say anything, God is going to hold you responsible. And I don't know how in the world you would allow yourself to be put in a position where you covering for your brother that much, going against the word of God. Any fool knows that what committing adultery means. You want to talk about my outfits and what I wear? What about one of the commandments that says thou shalt not commit adultery? Did you forget that one? But you want to come for me. That's why I said come for me. Because see, I'm strong enough now to say what I need to say. And get off of this thing and go watch a TV show. Because you ain't do nothing to me. I'm speaking for the ones that's scared to speak up. I'm speaking for the wives who got to go home and lay in their beds knowing that their man was out there sleeping with somebody else. And watching them preaching in the pulpit on Saturday mornings and at the campground. That's what I'm talking about. But y'all wouldn't have every other conversation. Oh, she had a baby out of wedlock. Oh, she wearing earrings. Oh, she got lipstick on. Oh, she got a hair color. All this little stupid stuff. When you have men who when we go and we become chaplains and pastors, there's a certain oath, there's a certain vow that you take, that you have to answer questions. When you're after graduation, they start asking you these questions. Will you do this? Will you do that? And you're saying yes. It's like you're getting married to God and you're telling him, yes, God, this is what I'm going to do. You took an oath. But yet and still, you are so narcissistic, and I mean that word, and I'm not going to take it back, and you so bold that you sticking your middle finger up at God, and you doing what you want to do, knowing that the person that you with ain't your wife. And you think that you're not going to get caught. But God going to let you run around for a little while, and then he going to pull that curtain back. And some of y'all already been caught and been exposed. So when y'all parishioners are sitting around jumping on other parishioners, like you hold the keys to the judgment, you better turn around and start putting your glasses on and look at the pastors that's preaching to you. That's what you better do. And I'm not saying all of the pastors, but it's a lot of y'all out there that's not doing what you're supposed to do, going in and out of strip clubs, and you got a whole wife and children. And the foolishness continues. And then you got leadership acting like they ain't even heard nothing about it. and they still putting them up in the pulpit to preach. And then at the campground that we just had, I ain't go to it. The past 10 days, you got them up there preaching in the pulpit to the people. God is going to hold you responsible for every single person that was under you. And y'all people in leadership, I pray for the day that, and the Adventist people don't have enough in them to tell leadership to go sit down. They don't have enough leadership to do that. I mean, enough in them to do that, to tell leadership to sit down. They just continue on with the foolishness and hyping them up and all of that. Y'all gonna bust hell wide open too. I ain't gonna be a part of the group because I'm gonna say what it is. And if I have the opportunity, because I can't say too much because I got to keep everything in confidence. But I'm sick and tired of seeing people hurt, especially the pastors' wives. That's why pastors, you don't get no pass with me. I ain't running to hear you preach. I'm not doing none of that. I'm not treating you any different. You don't get no pass with me. When you think you that great that you can get up and preach and then go, lay with your side chick and do this and that, and you talking on the phone and you got numbers in your phone and all that kind of stuff, and got a whole congregation of wife and children and getting paid, sir, the one that was talking about me. And let me just stop right there for a minute, because all of these pastors get paid, and while you sitting up here writing these posts, what about this and what about that? What about preaching a sermon? How about it's the last days, or maybe y'all don't, but how about you getting online and bringing some people to Jesus? I do it all the time. I don't get a dime, penny, nickel, quarter, nothing. And I'm out hitting the streets almost every day. I'm talking to people. I'm taking phone calls. I don't get paid for that. But I'm doing what God called me to do. Y'all get a check. You get help with your house being paid for. You get help with your children going to school. You get help with your food and all the other stuff, your electric bill. I don't get no help. None. But yet and still, I go out and I trust God and I do what he's called me to do. And anybody who knows me personally will tell you I ain't about the foolishness. They will tell you, don't certain things, don't say around it. She's not about the foolishness. Because when it comes to my soul salvation, I'm serious about that. I ain't covering for nobody. I don't like nobody that much. I love me. And I love God. So when you sit up here and you criticize what I have on and what I'm saying, and you questioning me based on you looking on my social media page, and like I said, you must have a lot of time on your hands, because I got a lot of stuff on my social media pages and photos and stuff from I don't know how many years, and you had enough time to go through all enough. Like I said, probably because you saw what you liked, but you had to get back on here and act like you that man of God. Because some of y'all nasty. You act like, oh, I'm so holy, I'm so Christian, and I wouldn't do that. When that door closed, you do any and everything with somebody that ain't your wife. How about that? And I'm about tired of it. So when it comes to the Adventist church, I will say this. I'm not going to ever denounce my faith, because some things I learned that have helped me to be who I am, and there were some things that I just don't get. Some of the stuff I was taught, I don't get it. Can't go to the movies. Why? I don't understand. We watch TV. I'm not getting it. That's an ungodly place. You can't go into the movie theater. Can't wear makeup because you look like a, and they won't, like I said, they won't say the word whore. So let me just say it. You look like a harlot. And let me just share this with you, because y'all know I'm transparent, okay? So after I had my son was born in 1996. Before I had my son, I never wore makeup because I was kind of scared to wear it. Like I was just scared because I'm thinking I'm gonna go to hell, because I was taught you don't put no makeup and jewelry, you don't pierce your ears and all this stuff. So after I had my son, something had happened where he had just taken a lot from me. And I noticed like the first 3 months, my skin started getting dark. My arms was getting dark. I'm like, what's going on? I started getting little freckle spots and stuff. And so I started getting really self-conscious. And I'm like, I can't go to church no more because I did not ever miss a day at church. I was scared, even as an adult. So I was like, I can't go to church. I don't want people to see me this way. So one day my sister had a Mary Kay party. I didn't even know who Mary Kay was, right? So I go to the Mary Kay party and I was really embarrassed. I had a scarf tied on my head and everything. And I remember I had an African outfit on, so I had an African wrap on. And so the lady was like, would you like to get a, little facial makeover, whatever? And I'm like, okay, because in my mind I'm thinking I'll do it here, but before I leave, I'm gonna wash this off because I can't wear this outside. So lady was talking to me. She's like, what's going on with your skin? And I was telling her I don't know. I said the doctor said it's gonna go away. But I had just recently had my son, and he just had kind of messed me up. Y'all ladies know what I'm talking about. So she said, well, yeah, and she didn't even put a lot of makeup on. That was the thing. It was no eyeshadow, no eyelashes, nothing like that. It was just, stuff like, what is it called? Concealer, right? And so she did it, and I looked in the mirror, and I was like, wow. So then I said, how much is it? I'm going to just go ahead and buy it, right? So let me tell y'all what happened. And I was so self-conscious about my skin because I didn't understand what was going on at the time. Like everything was going on. My hair was falling out. Everything was happening. So I got the concealer, and I don't even think I had powder or anything like that. It was maybe one or two things, I think, concealing foundation. And I went to prayer service one night, right? And I was really self-conscious because I'm like, I got this makeup on. But it wasn't like I didn't have lipstick on, none of that. It was just like, just y'all ladies know what I'm talking about, just basic concealer, just to, cover the blotches, right? So I go into church. Cindy, you know what church I'm talking about. Me and Cindy been friends for years. So I go into church, and when church was over, I'm going around, I'm hugging people, and I went to hug this one lady, and she pulled back. She said, what is that mess you have on your face? You look like a clown. And it took everything in me to just like hold the tears back because I was also suffering with postpartum depression, which I didn't know anything about that either. And when she said that, it was like the inside of me was shaking. I just wanted to get to my car. And she proceeded to tell me, take that stuff off your face. You look a mess. I don't know what. And we don't wear that here anyway. And after that, I really didn't hear the rest of what she was saying because my mind just kind of drifted. And I remember just walking out to that parking lot, to the car. And the moment I got in the car and I slammed the door, I was boo-hooing all over the place. Because you got to remember, I'm suffering with postpartum depression. I don't know what's going on with my skin, my body. I'm way, way overweight, and everything was happening. My baby is only a few weeks old. And that was my first child. And that thing tore me up. But I never forgot how it really made me feel because instead of her just embracing me and giving me a hug and keeping her mouth shut and going home, she had to do the most. And then she did it where other people could hear, where people were turning around and they were looking. So she embarrassed me. And you made me feel like a whore because all I had on was foundation. And back then, because I had gained so much weight, I was always wearing African outfits because I didn't want people to see how much weight I had really gained. Thank you, Cindy. She said, no, you weren't. You were still beautiful. Thank you. Um, I didn't feel that back then, Cindy. I really didn't. And so the pain that caused me for not a month, but I'm talking about years, the pain that caused me from what she said, the struggle that I went through, finally seeing my skin coming back together, my weight coming off, my hair coming back, the pain, the depression I started feeling from that comment. And this is what they do. I can't speak about any other religion, I can't speak about any other churches or whatever. I can only speak of what I was born up into. That's right, Joyce. We don't forget how people made us feel. I can only speak about what I was raised in. And now I use my voice to be an advocate for the people who are afraid to speak. For the pastors' wives who, and this is what happens, and this is the honest truth. Now again, Adventist people, if I'm wrong, check me. Check me. Tell me. But y'all not going to do that because I'm not wrong. The Adventist leadership, and I've seen it time and time again, years on top of years, will take the word of the pastor who's out here whoring around on his wife. And they'll say how bad the wife is, the wife that, and I that, she not doing this no more, and I'm not. And they will take their word and shun the wife. And the wife, you just no longer see them. You no longer hear from them. They just walk away broken. Now tell me if that is what God wants us to do, those of you that are Christians. Because that's not in the word that I read, and that's not what the God that I serve does. And I'm saying all of this because I need the Adventist church to wake up. The young people are leaving. People like me, to be honest, and this is probably the first time I'm saying, I don't really have a desire to walk through your doors. Because when I hear all of this stuff that's going on from these personal phone calls, my thing is, I'm going out in the street. I'm going out. Now, wait a minute. Let me go, because Steve said Connie. This is another sister of mine. Okay, I'm glad these people popping on because these are people that know me from way back when. Now, Connie says, well, I guess I am not the only minister's daughter that has been spiritually abused. Thank you, Connie. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, I appreciate that. Cindy and I are friends and have been friends for, a long time. Our children were kids and, they're all grown up. And I know what Connie went through. I know what she went through. And it's sad. I'm not going to talk about her story. That's her story to tell. I can only tell mine. It's sad. And then the pastors want to walk around and flex. I'm pastor this and I'm pastor that. And you ain't pastor nobody, some of y'all, to me. I have actually taken your pastor title away because I know what you're doing. And then we have the pastors who are so busy. And this is what I want to say to that brother too that was coming from me. Because see, again, it's easy to come for somebody like me because you ain't know me. And you didn't know that I will cut you up. You didn't know that because you think I'm one of them Adventist women that's going to be quiet and let you just flex and say what you want to say. And like I said, brother, you better be glad I'm not saying your name. Because all of your LOLs and all of that stuff, which you thought was funny, you better be glad I'm not saying your name. But we have pastors. Well, let me say this first. The Adventist church has always prided itself, especially when I was growing up, on being different. We're the remnant. We're the elite church. We're going to heaven. We got this, that, and the third. I question that today. Because y'all so busy being like the first day churches, I can't tell the difference. The first day churches, some of them have they done took the pulpit out off the stage and they just got a full stage like you at the arena. Y'all doing the same thing. Everybody want to dress like Bishop T.D. Jakes and Jamal Bryant. Everybody want to preach like them. And y'all know that's not the way the Adventist church was built. Y'all know that. But you done took your eyes off of Jesus and you want to be like everybody else. We ain't even used to say first lady because the ladies wasn't even recognized. It was just all pastor. The wife was sitting on the bench somewhere and not on the first row. or on the pulpit. She was sitting in the back somewhere, waiting for him to finish. Because the women were taught to be in the background, walk behind me. But now all of a sudden you into, oh, this is the first lady and the pastor celebration. We ain't do all of that stuff. And so when y'all be sitting up here, this okay. Let me not call names, because I'm gonna just say, sir, when you sit up here and you criticize me and come for me, you better know what you're talking about. You better know what you're talking about. I'm gonna send you this video, and then if you want to come on and we do a live together, guess what? I'll go toe to toe with you on a live, and I will eat you up. Because the stuff that you should have been talking about on that page, and even when I brought it up in my little response back to you about the pastors, you ain't say nothing about it. You kept talking about these earrings and this makeup. Ain't say nothing when I mentioned how come nobody's talking about these pastors that's going around sleeping around on their wives. You skipped right over that and talked about me and how I look and what I'm not doing and how I'm a distraction. You're a distraction and you're a fool. That's what you are. That's what you are. And I don't take anything back that I said. You are a fool. And you, along with the other people who wear the blinders, and you just looking straight ahead, and you're not paying attention, and you hear what's going on, because the Adventist church, they the biggest gossipers you want to see. They the biggest gossipers. They know everything from here to California about what somebody is doing. So you know exactly what some of these people are doing. The elders, I just had a gentleman on my show. The elder molested his daughter. The elder of the church. The gentleman came on and told his story. I went to a forum. After I did that show, I was asked to come to a forum in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. I went up there last month. Or was it? Yeah, it was last month. It was a room full of people. And a lot of them, all of them Adventists, and a lot of those people sitting in that room either had children who had been molested, messed with, fondled by people of the Adventist faith, elders. It was some women in there who had been talked to inappropriately by the pastor. We're all in one room. And nothing was surprising to me because I get the phone calls. So none of it was surprising. But I was glad that the person had now made an outlet for them to be able to come to talk about what they've gone through, and to sit there and say that they have called leadership, the ones over these pastors, and have not gotten a response. One lady said to me that was there, the pastor was having inappropriate conversations with her child, her daughter. She said she just told him one thing: I will kill you. That's all she said to him: I will kill you. And this is the position that you put people in when you don't address things and when you sweep it under the rug. And y'all real good at sweeping stuff under the rug. Y'all probably got the biggest broom out there, sweeping stuff under the rug. And we, the parishioners, supposed to just follow along, and the women supposed to be quiet and not say anything. That's dead to me. That's dead. Like I'm not gonna be quiet. I'm not gonna be silent. Like I said, don't invite me to your church. Don't invite me to sing. I don't give a crap. I don't care. I'm just saying to the parishioners, I ain't even talking to the pastors. Because if y'all put your middle finger up at God, I know you ain't listening at me. I'm talking to the parishioners. And I'm telling you to pay attention. And if you're sitting at a church and you know the pastor is doing something that he's not supposed to do, you're wrong too. Male or female, you're wrong. You better get your hips up out of there and go somewhere else. And if you're here somewhere else, you better keep it moving. Because you're going to be held accountable for sitting up there with the foolishness. Sir, and I almost called your name again. I'm trying so hard not to call your name. And I'm telling you, sir, that's the God that's in me. That's the new me. Because I would have called your name on purpose and put up a picture so everybody can see what you look like. I haven't even gone on your page, so I don't know what you look like. I just know your name because you kept texting me most of the day because I guess you ain't had nothing to listen, and I'm assuming you don't have a wife because you wouldn't have been texting me all day. And like I told you, my last response is my last response. I'm gonna end the conversation. You keep on texting. I'm not even gonna read it. I'm done because you're an idiot. And if you can look at my face, and what I got on my face right now is how it pretty much it looks like this every day. I don't wear excessive makeup. I ain't got a whole bunch of stuff on my face. How is my face a distraction? And I'm gonna tell you this, stupid, just so you know, that the majority of the women in your church ask your wife or your girlfriend, but again, you probably don't have one because you was texting me the whole time. But I don't know because the pastors have wives and they be texting and calling and sleeping around too. So I don't know. I don't know. Let me just move along. But the majority of women, whether they're Adventist, Pentecostal, whatever, they wear makeup. Okay. Now, they may not wear eyeshadow, they may not wear lipstick, but the majority of women will wear some type of foundation because as you get older, your skin starts changing. Sometimes you get a little discoloration. You can put that little, what's it called? You put the little concealer on, it'll even your skin tone out. And where do they find this at, sir? In the makeup aisle. So I guess that makes the majority of the women in your church whores. Because they got to go to their makeup counter. You ain't going to find it in the clothes department or the shoe department. You got to go to the makeup department to find it. And plenty of women, Adventist women, go in that department and get that concealer, whether it's MAC, Bobby Joe, or whatever her name is, Estee Lauder, all these other people, they go in there and they get that concealer or their foundation or their powder. Okay? So close your mouth because you don't know what you're talking about. And I've never, just so you know, and I got people in here that have known me when I was married, when I didn't have a child. These people know me. They've been seeing me at my worst, at my best, everything. And they will tell you, I've never walked into church looking like a whore. Because that's not how my parents raised me. Now, that's what made me mad too. Because when you start saying things like that, now you're talking about my parents ain't raised me right. And you don't want to go there with me. Now, please, sir, don't go there. Because then I'm gonna have to do a super extra prayer. Because now you're questioning how my parents raised me. I've never walked into church looking like a whore. I know better. My mother taught me how to dress. And so for you to sit up there and say all kind of stupidness out of your mouth and you don't know me, but you could be fantasizing about me. Maybe that's what it is. Because you surely had a lot to say. But women, if you got to wear the foundation, wear it. Ain't nothing wrong with it. And some of y'all need to wear it. Because some of y'all who's scared to wear it need to put it on. Don't be afraid. Go to the store. If you need help or you need me to help you with the colors, I'll help you. Some of y'all need to put the foundation and the concealer on. It's not going to hurt anything. You're not going to hell for putting it on. And again, I had to challenge a pastor who, what Cindy say? Cindy said they had a problem with my lashes. And once again, I could care less. Thank you, Cindy. She knows what I'm talking about. We were at the same church. They had a problem, and I don't know if Cindy remembers this. When I was, let me finish what I'm saying, because I got to get to the gentleman about that particular one. I'm going to come back to it. But it's okay for you to wear that, okay? I have had conversations with pastors who have challenged me on wearing makeup. I have said to them, please show me in the word where it says exactly that a woman should not wear makeup. Explain the context of it, because I have looked it up. Every single time they go and get a book, we have a prophetess that, they read her books. I've never been into her books, and I know they're gonna stone me for that one. But I'm a woman of God, and I read His words. I don't read the prophetess and the prophet and all. I can't get with that. Maybe God spoke to her. I don't get into discussions about that. But the pastors went and got her books, and they said in her books, I'm not sorry, in her writings, she said X, Y, and Z. Well, I don't care what she said. I asked you, what did the word say? We went back and forth to the point where all of them said, well, the word doesn't exactly say that you can't wear it. But she expounded on it to let you listen. End of conversation with me. If you can't show me in the word, I'm done. Don't tell me what nobody said. Bless the people who love her. I don't have nothing against her writings, her books, none of that stuff. She the prophet for the church. Okay. I believe in God and in the Bible, and that's what I do. And I know they're going to stone me for saying that. Connie said, girl, I was called a whore. Let me put this up so y'all can see this. Let me see. Let me put it up there because I need y'all to see this. She said, I was called a whore at the church where I was serving and contributing on a weekly basis. And guess what? I was a witness to it. I was a witness to it. Why? Because she wore makeup and she wore red lipstick. Connie is light skinned. Beautiful woman. Beautiful. Married, great children. Her husband is a dentist. Successful in all rights. But she was called names, talked about, your clothes too tight, this and that. This is a grown woman. But again, in the Adventist church, you never grow up. You're always that little kid. And sometimes as an adult, you forget that. I mean, I had to remind myself when I was in my 50s, like, I'm in my 50s. I don't have to listen to you. And I was in therapy because my therapist used to say, you're grown. Do you know that you can actually do whatever you wanted to do? And it was crazy that I was just so, I'm going to use the word traumatized, that I didn't even know that I could just do what I wanted to do. And I'm a grown woman. But I hear it all the time. I hear it all the time. So let me wrap this up because I'm tired of talking about these people, this man. But he was saying that in one of the, because I didn't even want to read. Look, y'all, he was sending me so many messages. I ain't even finished reading it. I just wanted y'all to get the gist of what he was saying. But in one of them, he said that nobody knows you. So I had to come back and tell him, my dad is a pastor. Just on that alone, you're known. Everybody knows you, and everybody thinks that they know you because they know him. On top of that, me and my dad, I have my dad's whole face. So when they see me, they automatically know that's Pastor Jenkins' daughter. I have been minister of music at I don't know how many Adventist churches. I've been youth leader, praise team leader, choir director. I mean, like I said, I got people in here that can tell you. That's what I did. And how did I look? Just like I look now. I didn't wear the long earrings then. And as a matter of fact, I was wearing the makeup. I still, wore my hair in different colors. This thing be acting stupid after a while. I wore my hair in different colors, but I was still afraid to wear the earrings. I did not get my ears pierced until 5 years ago, 4 years ago, because I was still afraid. Even as I sat in the chair get my ears pierced, I was afraid them clouds was going to break open and Jesus was I know you didn't get your ears pierced. it's crazy. And my son was there with me. He was like, Mom, sit in the chair. It's okay. It's okay. But I was saying all that to say that supposedly, according to this man, I am not known and I'm making up that I was doing this and I was doing that. Like I said, like I told him, you don't know me because I don't have to make up anything. I am who I am. I'm happy. You know, I've done a lot in the Adventist church. You know, like he said, if I had to speak at the church, they'd probably laugh me out of the pulpit. Never happened, sir. Never happened. Never laughed at me when I got up to sing. You know why? Because I can sing, and I sing with the Spirit. I was never laughed at. And I'm not just talking about my church. I've spoken at a lot of churches. Was never laughed at. Because the people began to realize that I can't even look at her because of the words that's coming out of her mouth. They're drawing, and you don't understand, sir. Because I gotta teach you something, because you are a full-blown idiot. You don't understand that when I get up in the morning, and if you followed me, like I said, if you followed me, because you said, you know, I don't know what kind of lives you be doing, this, that, and the third. I had to take a deep breath because something's getting ready to come out that wasn't supposed to come out, y'all. So sometimes I gotta take a deep breath. And this fool right here says, "Show us your boobs with the name of God." Listen, I don't have the energy. I'm tired tonight, ignoramus. I'm tired. I don't have time for it, and I can't even hit the button to block you because it's too much. But you go ahead and keep on talking with your ignorant self. And you, I'm not gonna go back to the way I was because I was just getting ready to go there and cut him up. But I'm gonna keep on moving because he's a distraction. But when I get up in the morning and I pray, this is my prayer every day. I pray for God, and I've said this on my live so many times. I pray for God to illuminate me with the light of his presence. I don't ever want people to see me. I don't need you to say, you know, you're beautiful, you look good. I want you to see Jesus. I want you to see a light, a glow. I always say, let the words of my mouth and the meditation of my heart be acceptable in your sight, O Lord, my strength and my redeemer. Those are my prayers every single morning. Not my will, but thy will. Every single day when I'm out and amongst people, I'm still praying. Like, Lord, if I run into somebody and they come to me and they need to talk, give me the right words to say. This is every day. So when you come on and you say certain things like God can't use me because of the way that I look and what I wear and I'm compromising and all this kind of stuff, unless you know something that I don't know, because you're talking about I'm compromising, you don't even know me. And at this rate, because of your ignorance, you will never get to know me. All I can do is pray for you. That's it. I got to pray for the ignorant. That's all I can do. You know, I listen. We ain't got to have no long conversation. You've shown your ignorance, so now I have to pray for you because you claim to be a child of God. So I gotta keep you in prayer because maybe you ain't read that part of the book of how you're supposed to be. But as a man, to speak to a woman like that, and that goes on in this church all the time. For you to speak to a woman like that is totally disrespectful and out of order. Now I'm done talking to you because I done spent way too much time. But I had to do this baptism. Yes, fool, keep laughing at yourself. I had to do this baptism because I need everybody else to understand what's really going on. Because you can come for people and you can say all kinds of stuff, and then if I walk away and I don't say anything, this foolishness continues. But when I get on this camera, and I say what it is, then people will start sharing the video. And any pastor who wants to come on here and talk to me, and you want to dispute anything I said about the pastors, please come. Anybody that's in leadership up in these conferences, you want to come and talk to me and dispute anything I said, please come. Because if you dispute it, you're going to be telling a lie. And that's going to be between you and God. But I'm giving you an open invitation to come and talk to me and tell me that I'm wrong. That's why at the very beginning, I know it was a little slow when I was, getting to the point, but I wanted y'all to understand the background of what we as Adventist women growing up, kids growing up, had to deal with. And how the fear was put into you so much that as an adult, some people are still walking around with it. Now, I still have people telling me that I'm not going to heaven. Y'all, hold on 1 second, because see, this fool right here. There we go, right here. Okay, so he's gone because he's getting on my nerves. I still have people telling me to this day that I'm not going to heaven, that I'm pretty much condemned to hell because I filed for divorce from my husband. Now, you don't know what was going on in our relationship. You don't know what was going on in our home, but you got a whole lot to say. And that's why I tell people now when they start with that, especially the older people, you need to go get your husband back because you want to go to hell. Please, ma'am, in all due respect, please be quiet. He's happily married. I'm happy for him. We communicate on a different level. I don't have no hatred towards him. I don't wish him no evil, no nothing. We good. I just need everybody else to mind their business. But to put all of this pressure on people is not what God intended to happen to his people. And pastors, I keep saying it over and over again, especially in my religion, when you say that we're the true church and, God is coming back for us and these are the last days, then why aren't you preaching about it? I see you making posts and asking all these different stupid questions. Why are you not on here saturating the airwaves? I'm on here every day. And again, I don't get paid. Y'all should be saturating these airwaves. This is free. Spreading the word of God, talking about it's the last days, but I don't see that. So I can't follow you. I don't see it. I don't feel it. I don't hear it. And Lord knows if you ain't in a certain category, where's my cord at? If you're not in a certain class, you can forget about hearing from anybody. Because you will not hear from them. I'm just saying. So anyway, I'm going to go through these comments real quick, and then I'm going to go watch a movie. There was something else I wanted to say. I'm done with that man, though, because he's an idiot. That's all I got to say about him. He's an idiot. But let me get to these comments. And thank y'all for sticking with me through this. I hope that you shared the video. I hope you learned something. Wow, you sound like me with my children. That's from, here's another idiot. I gotta block him. Cindy, this is my friend. To cover up their true sins, why do I have to look dry? Because you struggling with your lustfulness. Girl, that's the truth. And guess what, Cindy? I've been seeing some people looking dry and they still messing with them. Seen it with my own eyes. Cindy said, gotta watch out when dealing with the children of God. They will soon see if they don't believe. Absolutely. Stephen Copeland, I've been hearing a lot of pastors and bishops on YouTube coming for our queens like that, mainly talking about going to hell and judging everybody. And you know why a lot of them do that? Because of the sins that they doing. Again, don't let me get started on y'all this on the DL. Get down low. Okay. Cindy said you better tell the truth. Hey Tanya. Cindy said that's why the word said whole conferences will, yes. The whole conference is gonna be lost. I can't speak of the other ones, but Allegheny East, child, it's gonna be like Noah's Ark up in there when that flood comes. The whole campground gonna be gone. Cause y'all know y'all wrong. No, you're wrong. Hey, sweetie, Veronica Vaughn, Tiandra White. I see you pissed off, Dr. J. Okay, thank you for being bold, black woman. No, I'm not. You know, I wouldn't really say that I'm pissed off. Like I do these baptisms for, first of all, to speak for people that are afraid or uncomfortable to speak, and then I could see. I'm not worried about who likes me and who don't. And then I also do it as a teachable moment, as a learning experience to help people to understand what's going on. Don't let people pull you and say all kinds of things. Use your words. Speak up. Stephen Copeland, the pot calling the kettle black, and that's why they point the fingers at others. Yeah. Cindy said, "Where's the amen button?" She said, "No, you weren't. You were still beautiful." Stephen Copeland says, Gino Jennings call all women whores. He does. Your grandmother, your great grandmother, your aunt, your niece, your grandbaby. I'm like, what in the world is wrong with this man? And he does, you know. And people sit up there, but I'm not gonna be sitting up in no church where you calling me a whore. I'm not doing that. I'm not. I get what Gino Jennings is saying, and one thing I will say about that man, he don't bite his tongue, which is what our pastors is supposed to not be doing. But they're using their tongue somewhere else. So well. Joyce said we don't forget how it made us feel. That's true. Connie, Steve says, Connie, sorry to hear that. He said, that's not the God I serve. Connie said, Lord help us. Cindy said they had a problem with my lashes. Once again, I could care less. And I read that comment from Cindy. And Cindy says, God's strength is all over you. Thank you so much. So some people know what I've been through. And they've seen me at my lows. They've seen me on the back. I could have been that crazy person. I could have been that harlot going out there, but I chose to take another path. And it's been a journey. It really has. She says, Cindy says, empty me of me and fill me with you. And Steve says, back it up, my brother. Stop making us as men look bad. Well, he's talking to the creepy guy that was on there. And then Kenner says, anytime someone is focused on the splinter in somebody else's eye and not the log of sin that they are carrying around, tells you everything, exactly, everything you need to know. And Steve said, I've been married twice and God still loves me. Yes. And then he also said, you just helped me to understand where Gino Jennings is coming from, because I never did. You know, and some people are so embedded in what they think. But I remind you to go back to the word, because my thing is everybody's reading this Bible, but everybody has their own interpretation. Gino Jennings thinks he's right. The Pentecostal people think they right. The Baptist people think they right. The Lutheran people think they right. Adventist people. You got to read that word and ask God to make it clear to you. That's what I've been doing over the past years. Lord, make your word clear to me. And let me tell you something. When I started allowing God to make his word clear to me, that's when I became this woman that you see now. Because before, I was nothing but a broken shell of a woman. When I really started falling on my knees in my quiet time during the day, just really focused on God and asking him, what should I do about this? What should I do about that? Who should I talk to? Where should I go? My private prayers that I tell nobody about, and I see God answering. That's how I know God is real. That's how I know. And so when people start talking foolishness, I'm going to correct you. But you ain't moved me an inch from God. But you're not making me feel bad in any kind of way. It's just letting me know that the enemy is trying to pull me down because he knew who I was. And so that day that you were texting me, sir, the devil was using you, and he did a good job. Because you came through for him. And you was typing everything that he told you to type. But I want you to understand one thing. None of that felt on me. I went off and I enjoyed my day. I wasn't going to get online and shout and scream and all of that. I said, when I get back home, I'm going to do baptism. Because the only thing you showed me is that the enemy sees my growth. The enemy sees my connection and my allegiance to God. So now he's trying to come back through you, a man. Because if you followed me, since you said, you know, I don't ever do nothing, and I ain't online and this thing. If you really followed me, you would know my story. I don't play with men. And he used you to clickety-clack and type every single thing that used to be a trigger for me, that would have me going off looking for your address, sir. Coming to where you live, knocking on your door. That's who I used to be. And I ain't have no fear about doing it. I'm gonna call and find somebody to know where you live at. That was the old me. So I just gotta say thank you. And this is what y'all gotta do. Thank your haters. Thank the crazy people. Thank the goofy people like him. Thank them. Because they show you your growth. They show you just how far you've come. And I feel so blessed because I'm in a good space mentally and spiritually. I can address this, laugh at it, and get offline and go get some popcorn and watch a movie or get on the phone. You know, it's just like I'm doing this because I'm trying to help other people. But don't let people take you out of character and who God has called you to be. Understand who they're being used by. And the reason I can boldly say that he was being used by the enemy is because God does not speak those kind of words. God does not call names. God does not put you down. God does not make you feel bad. And God is not going to speak through anybody, Adventist people, to speak to other people and tear them apart. That's not what he does. Wake up. And now that I'm woke, and I've been woke for the past few years, you can't pull that on me, but I will address you. I am done, y'all. And it's felt good. Anyway, just, boy, let me tell you something. You better be glad that God, you better be glad that God has me in a much better place, sir. When you listen to this video, I want you to fall on your knees. That's all I'm gonna say. Fall on your knees and say, "Thank you, Jesus." That she's in a much better place. Because God has changed this person that's doing the video. Ain't no way you would have gotten away with this with just the baptism on the screen. I mean, you would have met face to face. But thank God for grace and mercy. I want to say I love you to my sisters, Connie, and I want to say I love you to my sister, Cindy, because we've been friends forever, and we done seen each other go through stuff, and we still friends, and we still Christian women, and we still love God, and we still wearing our makeup and our jewelry, and God is still blessing us. You see, God does not bless when you're doing mess, and when you are not living according to the will of God. He does not bless you. He does not elevate you. He does not allow things to come your way. And I know that I'm doing what God has called me to, because some of the things that I've accomplished, some of the things I'm doing, even me being able to go to Miami next week, I don't have no money for that. But God opens up doors, and the blessings just keep coming and coming and coming. That's the God that I serve. That's the God that I serve. So you can't tell me nothing different. I'm going to pray for that brother. I'm going to hope that you wake up from sleep. And if you don't have a girlfriend, I'm going to hope that you get one. Because maybe you're lonely. Maybe that's what you need. Maybe you just need a girlfriend or a woman in your life. And ain't no woman that's not Adventist will put up with your foolishness, because they might find you under a rock. Because you just don't know what to say out of your mouth. So try closing it. Okay? So y'all have a good night. I think I said everything I wanted to say and everything I need to say. And again, I extend my hand, my platform, sir, because you said I don't have nothing. By the way, sir, this is my platform. You can go to What Up Baltimore TV on YouTube. Go like, share, and subscribe. Go do that, okay? Because you said I don't have nothing. I don't do anything. I can't sing. I'll do that. You would think that I know this man, right? He never seen him. And he must be infatuated, but this right here, you would never have a chance because you're ignorant. But anyway, I extend my platform to this gentleman. Come on, because you had a lot to say. I'm going to send you the video when you watch it. Please come on. Let's talk. I'm not mad at you, because I pray for the ignorant, like I said. I'm not mad at you. And that's because of the way that you've been raised to think that men are superior. So it's you gotta learn. And your name sounds old, so I know you got to be up in my age group. I ain't gonna look at your picture. I'm just going by your first name. They not naming their children those names right now that I know of. So I'm thinking that you're around my age group, and it's never too late to learn. I'm also extending my platform, and I ain't talking to any pastors. I'm talking to the Adventist pastors. Come on, let's talk. And I'm extending it to the leadership of all of those conferences. Come and talk. Because if there's anything that I said that ain't true, and don't just come on here talking. Because like they said, if I gotta pull some receipts, I'ma pull them. So if you come on, make sure you coming, and you coming to tell the truth. I don't need you coming to try to defend the church, the prophetess. I don't need you doing none of that. I'm talking about what's going on in our church that's not right. And y'all making decisions of moving these pastors who doing dirty deeds, and then just had them preaching a few weeks ago. That's what I'm talking about. Because if you start talking about anything else, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna go right to the button and cut you right on off. Because that's not what we're here for. But if you want to have the conversation that I had tonight, I'm with it. I'm gonna be sitting right up here with my makeup, my jewelry, my nails done, everything. I ain't gonna change nothing because you won't hear. Oh my goodness. They want you, and this is the thing. Y'all, I gotta say this, then I'm leaving. I'm done after this. This stuff keeps popping in my mind because you'll get up in the pulpit, right? You'll get in the pulpit and preach. Woman not supposed to wear this, she's not supposed to wear that, she's not supposed to look like this, she's supposed to be doing this, doing that, and the third. Well, who y'all sleeping with? The woman with the earrings, the woman with the weaves all the way down the back, the eyelashes out here, the earrings, the bracelets, the rings. Y'all be, that's what y'all be with. That's why I say we got closet freaks. I mean, men are men, whether you're in the closet or not. You just gotta, make that decision that you're not gonna do certain things. But we got some closet freak pastors. And you like what you like, and it's okay. But don't do that to your wife. Leave your wife, divorce her, Get out the pulpit and go here and run with these women that you want to run with. That's what I'm talking about. Don't tell me something about me and what I'm not supposed to wear, but that's what you're sleeping with. And that's why I think the man that took his time to go through all of my profile pictures, who has time to do that? And I already said his name is old. So I don't know, like, maybe he retired, maybe his wife was at work, I don't know, but he had plenty of time to do all of that. Maybe you like what you saw. Because y'all know me, I got different hairstyles, different nail colors. Like I said, I don't wear excessive makeup. So I don't know, maybe the earrings were different colors, but outside of that, I don't know what he was talking about, but I think he liked what he saw. That's all I'm saying. I ain't saying I'm the most beautiful person in the world, but a man is not going to keep looking at your pictures on your page and keep going back and forth if they don't like what they see. And it's okay to say, sir, you like what you saw, even though you will never have it, but you like what you saw, and it's okay. You ain't commit no sin, but you had to double back because you probably was feeling something, so you had to double back and try to cut me up. What you say, Steve? I learned Bible is for the individual, and it's not for me to judge anyone. Thank you. And I'm not here to judge anybody either. Like I said, if you're sleeping around, and that's what you did, you love what you love. That's your business. I ain't got nothing to do with it. I'm just saying, get out the pulpit, don't preach to me. And if you don't leave, I'm going to leave. I just put it like that. So, y'all, that's the end of my baptism for tonight. And as I always say, when we pass the offering plate, none of y'all have to give offering except the person or the persons that was baptized. So in this case, conference, y'all need to give me an offering. $ Lady J, FLAVA, Lady J Flavor. And sir, you need to give an offering too. Now you need to give a double offering. Because you was just foolish all over. Now you really look like a fool. So you need to give a double offering. And then the pastors. I'm going to do this tonight. I'm going to do this tonight for the pastors. We not going to pass the offering plate to the pastors. We just going to pass the offering plate. We are going to pass it to the pastors. But we're going to take that money that the pastors give, and we're going to give it to their wives to go out and get a makeover, go to the spa, or something like that. That's what we're going to do for that with that offering. That's how we do the offering on here, y'all, when we do the baptisms. And I pray that I won't have to do a baptism for a while because I'm just trying to, as you get older, you really just want to sit back and be quiet, you know? And that's the mode I'm in right now. I just want to enjoy life. Oh, but let me say this before I go. Prayers to, I don't have it on my phone. There was a shooting. After all I said, this is real serious. And again, this goes back to everything that I've been saying about people having mental problems. The problems with this church, they are afraid to say and talk about it. We don't deal with those issues that comes out in other ways. So today, I started getting these text messages about there was a shooter, and I told you they did the 10-day service, right? And so this guy, his name, and he's from Maryland. He's from Maryland. It says Maryland man charged with firing over a dozen shots at a religious camp meeting. And let me see if I can pull this picture up. Y'all see that? Okay, that's something right there, right? So evidently he was at the camp meeting service, and I don't know what happened, had an AR-15, and he started shooting on the campground, and they said it was like over 200 people just running all over the place, trying to run for cover. And I'm not sure where they can even run because there's trees up there. The trees are all scattered. It's like a camping area, and it's all scattered. He was arrested, but they gave him a bond of $25,000, so So he posted at 2,500 and they let him go. I don't even know how they could let him go, but that area where they do the campground is called Pine Forge, Pennsylvania, and it's a sleepy town, very quiet town. I was reading up on it today. They got an A+ when it comes to being the safest community, the safest area to live in. They got an A+, and so they probably didn't even know how to handle, what happened. But again, I was talking to somebody today, and they were like, "Well, why would he come from Maryland?" I said, "Let me tell you something. When I tell y'all, please believe me. When I tell you how people call me who are hurting from the stuff that they've been that has happened to them in church, whether it's verbal abuse, physical abuse, sexual abuse, the way they've been raised, and you keep holding all of that stuff in and you don't let it out, it's going to come out in another way. And for some people in my age group, it's literally driving them crazy. It really is. And so when I was reading the story, I was like, something's going on up here, that he got in his car. And I think that's like a 3.5 hour drive or something from here to Pine Forge, Pennsylvania. But he got in his car and drove all the way up there, and you started shooting. Something is going on up here that has to do with the Adventist church, that campground. It's a school up there called Pine Forge Academy. Something was going on. And that he planned it, and he went up there and he did it. And this is why I'm saying this is so serious, and we got to pray. And for those of you that grew up in this church, stop holding on. That's why I did this. I try to make it funny and everything. But at the end of the day, stop holding on to all of that stuff. Because you're going to find yourself in prison, dead, or somewhere in a rocking chair like this because you're going crazy because of what's happened to your mind. Got to let this stuff go. Find a therapist to go to. Find somebody to go to. Matter of fact, I'm going to put my number up on here. I think somebody told me last night, everybody in the world got your phone number. But I'm going to put my phone number up here. You can call me. It's confidential. It's not going nowhere. But I will help you. There it is. I will help you to get the resources that you need to get help. This is serious. Church hurt is serious. And anybody that's want to come for me after this or in the comments, whatever, come on. Because that means that you didn't hear anything that I said tonight. And I probably won't even respond to you. Because at this point, you wasted my time because I already explained to you what it is. But even though this guy did what he did, y'all might know him. His name is, he's 38 years old. His name is Kern, Kern, Jordan, Jordan. He's from Upper Marlboro, Maryland, and they charged him with terroristic threats, disorderly conduct, and firearms offenses. This ain't no joke. So I'm going to leave it there. But I hope y'all have a good night. What was this last comment? Irene Walker, thank you for sharing this conversation information, and much appreciated. Amen. Take care and Godspeed. Thank you, Irene. Thank you so much. This is serious. If you're going through any type of church hurt, the number on the screen, 443-297-4753. If you don't want to call a therapist, if you don't want to call 911 or I forgot the number. It's a number. It's a 3-digit number that you can call. Why is it? Well, I got a brain freeze. But it's a 3-digit number that you can call. I can't even think of it. I normally have it in my notes on here. But anyway, you can call my number, and I will help you to get the help that you need. Okay? And my name is Dr. LadyJ. This has been fun with y'all. I got to go because I have some work that I gotta finish. The gentleman said I don't really do nothing, so but I do have some work that I have to finish. Pray for the young people that I'm going to go visit tomorrow. As a chaplain, I go into the Baltimore County Detention Center to do visits, and it's just sad, that they're filled to capacity with our young people. So keep them in prayer, and then pray for each other. Pray for the people that's, you know, like this gentleman that just did this thing. I think it was over the weekend. Don't quote me, but I'm trying to see. It doesn't say. I don't know what date it was. Whatever. July 8th. Oh, was that yesterday? That was yesterday. Wow. Okay. That was yesterday. Mm-mm-mm. So anyway, or maybe it was the weekend and they just posted it because I think camp was over on Saturday. So it probably happened it was over the weekend. That's right, because my girlfriend did tell me that. Thank you, Cindy, 311. So, y'all take care of yourself. Don't let nobody box you in on nothing. Live your life. Enjoy your life, because guess what? The one thing you don't get back is time. I don't care how you try, you don't get time back. So don't let people take away their time from you. You enjoy your life, and you ask God what it is that He wants you to do, and be open and willing to accept whatever their plan is for your life. Okay? So y'all be blessed. Make sure y'all tune in. We got some more shows coming up this week, sir. We got shows going on all week. The only day I don't do shows is on a Friday, sir. Tomorrow night is Spitfire Poetry Shutdown with my brother John Hansborough. He always says a great show. We got a psychological trauma therapy show that's coming on Thursday, sir. Please tune into that one, sir, because that's the one that you need. That's the one that you need, sir. Tune into that one on Thursday. Matter of fact, I'm going to send you the flyer so you can tune in, because you need some psychoeducational therapy. All right, y'all. I got to go. But have a good night. Y'all be blessed. And thank you so much for tuning in. Make sure you share this show. And I really hope that you got something from it. Peace and blessings to you always.
Just wanted to let you know that the host of this show appreciates the time that you've spent with them. Now, don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe to our channel so you can keep up with everything that we're doing. And most of all, thank you for tuning in to What Up Baltimore online radio, where the people have the power.